Jack Harris looked out the window of his office at the Pentagon. The sky was clear blue, but his mind was troubled. 3 months ago, aliens had revealed themselves to Earth. Today, they had delivered an invitation that felt more like a challenge. "Play it again," Jack said to his assistant Diane. She tapped a button on her tablet. The holographic message appeared in the center of the room. 2 alien figures materialized. Commander Zextul, tall and insect-like with a hard outer shell, and Ambassador Lowen, a slender being with silver skin that seemed to shimmer. "People of Earth," Ambassador Lowen's voice was smooth and pleasant. "The Galactic Alliance formally invites your world to join our coalition of advanced species. As is customary, new members must demonstrate their value through participation in our combat tournament. This event occurs every 50 years and determines military standing within our alliance." Commander Zextul stepped forward. His mandibles clicked as he spoke. "Each world may send 3 representatives to compete. Only natural abilities and bodily enhancements common to your species are permitted. No technological weapons are allowed." The message continued with details about the tournament date and location. Jack turned it off before it finished. He had already watched it 20 times today. "They're testing us," he said. "This isn't just a tournament, it's an assessment." Diane nodded. "The President wants your recommendations for our 3 champions by the end of the week." Jack rubbed his temples. At 58, he was too old for this job. After 30 years in the Marine Corps and 5 years as Earth's military liaison to extraterrestrial affairs, he had hoped to retire soon. That wouldn't happen now. "I need more information," he said. "Set up another meeting with our alien friends." The meeting took place the next day in a special room designed for alien visitors. The air was slightly thicker, the gravity adjusted. To match the aliens' home worlds, Jack sat alone at a large table while Zextul and Lowen entered. "Thank you for meeting with me," Jack began. "I have questions about the tournament." Commander Zextul's large compound eyes fixed on Jack. "Ask your questions, human. What types of combat are involved? What are the rules? Who are the past winners?" The aliens exchanged looks that Jack recognized from his years of diplomatic work. It was the look of people trying not to laugh. "Your species is..." Commander Zextul paused, searching for words. "Physically unimpressive by galactic standards." Jack kept his face neutral despite the insult. Ambassador Lowen added, "We suggest you participate merely for diplomatic relations. Winning should not be your concern." "I see," Jack said calmly. "Could you explain why we are at such a disadvantage?" "Earth's gravity is only 1.2 on the standard scale," Ambassador Lowen explained. "Most competing species come from worlds at least twice that. Your muscle density, reaction time, and skeletal structure are inadequate for competitive combat." Jack nodded politely but felt anger rising inside him. Humans had been fighting and killing each other for thousands of years. They knew a thing or two about combat. "Thank you for your honesty," he said. "I'll make sure our representatives understand the challenge." After the aliens left, Jack went straight to his secure phone and called an old friend. "Sam Mitchell," answered a gruff voice. "Sam, it's Jack Harris. I need your help." Sam had been a talent scout for special operations for 20 years. He knew every dangerous person in every military branch and beyond. "What kind of trouble are you in, Jack?" Sam asked. "The galactic kind." "I need the 3 most dangerous humans alive," Jack said. "And at least one of them needs to be trained in the old ways." "The old ways? You mean martial arts?" "Yes. Something the aliens won't expect. Something that doesn't rely on size or strength." There was a long pause. "Give me 48 hours." 2 days later, Jack sat in a secure room beneath the Rocky Mountains. The facility had been built during the Cold War and upgraded many times since. 3 files lay on the table before him. Sam entered, followed by 3 people, 2 women and 1 man. "Jack, meet your champions," Sam said. The first was a tall woman, with short blonde hair and intense blue eyes. "Kate Lawson, age 32, Sam introduced. "Former Army Ranger, undefeated in professional mixed martial arts. Part of an experimental military program that enhanced her reflexes." Kate nodded at Jack but didn't smile. Her handshake was firm. The man, stepped forward next. He had brown skin, wide shoulders, and moved with remarkable grace for someone so muscular. Eric Rodriguez, age 29, Sam continued. Olympic gold medalist in wrestling, trained in boxing, judo, and 3 other combat sports, has an exceptional strength-to-weight ratio. Finally, the second woman approached. She was shorter than the others, with straight black hair tied back in a neat ponytail. Her movements were so fluid and quiet that Jack almost felt like she glided rather than walked. And this is Naomi Tanaka, age 35, Sam said. 15th generation ninja from the Koga clan, trained since childhood in techniques passed down for centuries. Jack raised an eyebrow. Ninja? Really? Naomi's face remained calm. My family has guarded certain knowledge for generations, Mr. Harris. What your alien friends fail to understand is that humans have been perfecting the art of combat for thousands of years. To demonstrate, she moved across the room with such speed and grace that Jack had trouble following her. One moment she was standing in front of him, the next she was behind him. He hadn't even seen her pass. They believe strength and size determine victory, she continued. That is their first mistake. Jack smiled for the first time in days. Please sit down, we have much to discuss. He explained the tournament and the aliens' dismissive attitude toward human abilities. They think we're weak, Kate said, her voice hard with anger. Yes, Jack agreed. And that gives us an advantage. They'll underestimate us. Eric cracked his knuckles. I've been underestimated my whole life. Didn't stop me from winning gold. The tournament is in 3 months, Jack explained. You'll train together here away from alien observers, though they'll want to assess you occasionally. Let them, Naomi said quietly. Let them see what they expect to see. Over the next few weeks, the alien representatives visited regularly to check on the human team's progress. Each time they left with their prejudice reinforced. The humans seemed to be trying hard but remained unimpressive by galactic standards. What the aliens didn't see were the real training sessions that happened deep in the facility, where the 3 humans pushed themselves beyond normal limits. They shared techniques, combining their different fighting styles into something new. During one visit, Commander Zexatul watched Kate struggling to lift weights that would be light for his species. You should consider this an honor simply to participate, he told Jack. Your species is young. Perhaps in a few thousand years of evolution you might become competitive. Jack smiled politely. We're just happy to be included. After the aliens left, Kate threw the weights across the room in frustration. I can't wait to wipe that smug look off his bug face. Patience, Naomi advised. The best victories come to those who wait for the perfect moment to strike. Jack looked at his 3 champions with growing confidence. They have no idea what's coming. The day arrived for the human team to leave Earth. They boarded a sleek alien vessel that would take them to Nexus Station, where the tournament would be held. Jack Harris accompanied them as their official representative. Remember what we discussed, Jack told his 3 champions as they settled into their quarters on the ship. Let them underestimate you until the right moment. The journey took 2 weeks. During this time, the 3 humans continued their training in the ship's exercise room. Alien crew members would sometimes stop to watch, their faces showing a mix of curiosity and pity. Kate Lawson pushed herself hardest of all. As a former Army Ranger, she was used to being the only woman in elite fighting groups. Being underestimated was nothing new to her. They look at us like we're children, she said to Eric one day after a workout. I can't wait to show them what humans can really do. Eric Rodriguez nodded. He had grown up in a poor neighborhood where he had to fight for everything. He knew the advantage of being overlooked. My first Olympic coach told me I was too small, he said. Now that gold medal hangs in my mother's living room. Of the 3, Naomi remained the most mysterious. She trained mostly alone, practicing movements that seemed more like a dance than combat preparation. When the others asked about her techniques, she revealed little. My family has served Japan for centuries, she explained once. We were shadows in the night when needed. The true art of ninjutsu is not what you see in movies. It is about ending conflict quickly and efficiently. Nexus Station appeared in the view screen as they approached. It was massive, a wheel-shaped structure orbiting a neutron star. The station's outer ring held various habitats designed for different species, while the center hub contained the arena. 27 different species will compete, Jack told them as they prepared to dock. Some from worlds with gravity 3 times stronger than Earth's, some with natural armor or enhanced reflexes. "And what are we known for?" asked Eric. Jack smiled. "Being soft, slow, and weak. Let's keep it that way for now." When they disembarked, a delegation met them. The leader was Grand Arbiter Kelzak, a tall being with 4 arms and blue skin stretched over a skeletal frame. "Welcome, humans of Sol 3, the Grand Arbiter said. "Your quarters are in Section 12, with the other lightweight species." Jack noticed the slight. They were being housed. With species considered physically inferior, their quarters were comfortable but small. After settling in, they received a schedule of events. The opening ceremony would be held the next day, with competitions beginning immediately after. "Get some rest," Jack told his team. "Tomorrow we start playing our part." The opening ceremony was held in the main arena, a vast circular space surrounded by tiered seating for thousands of spectators. Each competing species had their own section in the stands, marked with their homeworld's flag. The human team entered the arena last, walking behind Earth's flag. The applause was polite but unenthusiastic. Jack could hear murmurs from the alien spectators, wondering why such a physically unimpressive species had been invited. Grand Arbiter Kelzak stood at the center of the arena. His voice boomed through the sound system as he introduced each species. "And, finally," he announced, "the primates from Sol 3 participating for cultural exchange purposes." Kate's jaw tightened at these words, but she kept her face neutral. Eric smiled and waved to the crowd as if he hadn't noticed the insult. Naomi kept her eyes forward, her expression calm. After the ceremony, they were approached by a group of aliens from various species. Some were friendly, others openly curious about the primitive humans. One tall, muscular alien with red skin and 4 eyes introduced himself as Dravkor, champion of the Arthian Empire. His exoskeleton gleamed under the lights. "I am surprised your kind would travel so far just to be defeated," he said to Kate, his tone somewhere between amusement and pity. Kate smiled. "We're just happy to be here. It's all so new to us." Dravkor seemed pleased with this answer. "Perhaps you will learn something to take back to your little world." As the alien walked away, Eric whispered, "I've never wanted to punch someone so badly in my life." "Patience," Naomi said quietly. "His time will come." The first day of competition began with preliminary matches. The humans watched as various aliens displayed incredible abilities. The Arthians were nearly 9 feet tall with exoskeletons that could withstand tremendous impact. The Vesperians moved with blinding speed, their reflexes 5 times faster than the average human. The Krell warriors could increase their muscle density at will, becoming nearly immovable. Eric was scheduled to compete first among the Earth team. His opponent was a Proximan fighter, a being with 6 limbs and remarkable flexibility. "Remember," Jack whispered to him before the match, "show some skill, but don't reveal everything." Eric nodded and entered the arena. The match began, and he fought well, using his wrestling skills to defend against the Proximan's attacks. But he deliberately held back, making his movements slightly slower than his true ability. The match ended with Eric's defeat, though it was closer than the aliens expected. The commentators noted that the human showed surprising resilience, but was clearly outmatched. Kate fought next, against a different Proximan opponent. Following the plan, she showed more of her true ability, using her enhanced reflexes to dodge attacks and land precise strikes. To the surprise of the audience, she won her match. The alien commentators attributed her victory to lucky maneuvers and the particular weaknesses of her opponent. Still, it caused some murmurs among the spectators. Perhaps humans weren't quite as weak as they appeared. After the day's competitions, the team gathered in their quarters to discuss strategy. "They're still underestimating us," Jack said. "Kate's victory is being dismissed as luck." "Good," Kate replied. Let them think that. Tomorrow, Eric will win his match, Jack continued, but still hold back. We need to save our true capabilities for when it matters most. They all turned to look at Naomi, who had not competed yet. According to their plan, she would remain a mystery until the Elite Division matches began. Are you ready? Jack asked her. Naomi nodded. I have been watching all the competitors carefully. I know their weaknesses now. What about Dravkor? Eric asked. That exoskeleton looks impenetrable. A small smile appeared on Naomi's face. Every armor has its gaps. Even in nature, the most heavily armored creatures have vulnerable points. Later that night, while the others slept, Naomi sat in quiet meditation. Her family had preserved ancient techniques for 15 generations, passing down knowledge that few outsiders had ever witnessed. These aliens, with their technological achievements and physical advantages, had forgotten something important. Humans had been perfecting the art of killing for thousands of years. Tomorrow, they would begin to learn. The second day of the tournament brought larger crowds. News of a human victory, however lucky it seemed, had sparked curiosity. Eric was scheduled to fight again, this time against a Krell warrior. The Krell stood 7 feet tall with gray skin that looked like stone. Jack had explained that Krell could control their muscle density, making themselves nearly immovable when needed. This will be a tough one, Jack told Eric before the match. Show more skill today, but save your best moves for later rounds. Eric nodded and entered the arena. The crowd murmured as the two fighters faced each other. The size difference was obvious. The Krell towered over Eric by nearly 2 feet. Begin, called the referee. The Krell charged forward like a bull. Eric dodged and tried to grab the alien's arm, using his wrestling training. But when he pulled, the Krell didn't move. Instead, the alien's arm felt like it was made of concrete. Eric shifted tactics. He moved quickly around the Krell, looking for weaknesses. He landed several strikes, but they seemed to have little effect. Meanwhile, one hit from the Krell sent Eric sliding across the arena floor. After 10 minutes of combat, Eric was breathing hard. He had shown impressive speed and skill, but the Krell's natural advantages were too great. When the alien finally caught him with a powerful grip, Eric tapped out to avoid serious injury. The crowd cheered for the Krell, but there was a new tone in their reaction. The human had fought better than expected. He had lasted longer than anyone predicted against a physically superior opponent. As Eric left the arena, an alien reporter intercepted him. A respectable effort for a human, the reporter said. Do you feel your species is simply too fragile for this level of competition? Eric wiped blood from his lip and smiled. We're still learning. Give us time. Back in their quarters, the team reviewed the day's matches. You did well, Jack told Eric. They're starting to notice us, but they still don't see us as real threats. Kate would fight next in the afternoon session. Her opponent would be a Vesperian, one of the quick, silver-skinned aliens with reflexes far faster than a normal human. Use your enhancements, Jack advised. Show them something unexpected, but not everything. Kate's match drew an even larger crowd. Her previous victory had been dismissed as luck, but everyone wanted to see if she could repeat it. The Vesperian moved, like lightning, striking from multiple angles. Kate's enhanced reflexes allowed her to block or dodge most attacks, but not all. After 5 minutes, she was bleeding from several small cuts. The human female shows courage, said one commentator, but the Vesperian's superior speed will decide this match. Then Kate changed tactics. Instead of trying to match her opponent's speed, she began to anticipate the Vesperian's movements. She set traps, feinting in one direction to draw a response, then countering with precise strikes. The crowd grew quiet as Kate landed a series of blows. The Vesperian, unused to being hit, became frustrated and sloppy. Kate seized an opening and executed a perfect takedown, pinning her opponent until the referee declared her the winner. This time, there was no talk of luck. The aliens watched with new interest as Kate left the arena. Perhaps these humans have some skill after all, murmured Ambassador Lowen to Commander Zextul in the diplomatic section. One victory means nothing, Zextul replied. Wait until they face true champions. That evening, a reception was held for all competitors. The human team attended, drawing curious looks from the other species. Dravkor, the Arthian champion, approached them. His exoskeleton gleamed under the lights as he looked down at the humans. "Impressive performance today," he said to Kate. "For a species so limited." Kate smiled politely. "Thank you. We do our best with what we have." Dravkor's attention turned to Naomi, who had been silent throughout the exchange. "And you? When do you compete?" "Tomorrow," Naomi said quietly. "In the elite division." The Arthian laughed, a strange clicking sound. "The elite division? Against experienced champions? Your leaders have placed you in danger, small one." Naomi bowed slightly. "We shall see." As the Arthian walked away, Eric whispered, "I can't wait to see his face tomorrow." Naomi remained calm. "Pride before the fall," she said softly. Later that night, Jack met with his team to review recordings of previous matches. They focused on Dravkor, who would be Naomi's opponent. "His exoskeleton is nearly impenetrable," Jack noted. "No human could match his strength." "I don't intend to," Naomi replied. She pointed to specific areas on the holographic image. "Here, and here, the joints are flexible. And here," she indicated the neck area. "The segments must allow movement." Jack looked concerned. "Even knowing his weaknesses, he's incredibly dangerous. Are you sure about this?" Naomi nodded. "My ancestors faced armored samurai with only cloth garments and simple tools. They learned that perfect timing and precise strikes overcome superior protection." Jack still looked worried. "The Arthians are undefeated in this tournament for the past 3 cycles. Their natural armor gives them a massive advantage." "Nature also teaches us," Naomi said, "that the most dangerous predators are not always the largest." The next morning, the elite division matches began. These featured the highest-ranked fighters from each species. The arena was packed with spectators, eager to see the champions compete. When the announcer called Naomi's name against Dravkor, laughter rippled through the crowd. The size difference was even more dramatic than in Eric's match against the Krell. "The human female is half his size," one commentator remarked. "This match should be categorized as exhibition only." Naomi entered the arena wearing traditional shinobi shozoku, fitted black clothing that allowed maximum movement. She carried no weapons. Her face showed no emotion as she bowed to her opponent. Dravkor towered over her, his chitinous armor reflecting the arena lights. He performed his own ceremonial greeting, a series of postures showing his strength. "I will try not to damage you permanently, small one," the Arthian announced loudly for the benefit of the audience. Naomi simply bowed again and moved into a ready stance. In the stands, Jack sat with Kate and Eric. "Now we find out if our plan works," he said quietly. The referee gave the signal to begin. Dravkor moved forward with surprising speed for his size, one massive arm swinging toward Naomi. The crowd gasped, expecting the human to be crushed instantly. But Naomi wasn't there. She had moved like smoke, seemingly flowing around the attack rather than dodging it. The Arthian's strike hit nothing but air. Confused, Dravkor turned and attacked again. And again, Naomi wasn't where she had been a split second before. The crowd grew quiet. The commentators stopped their banter, watching with increasing interest as the small human evaded every attack from the powerful Arthian champion. "What is she doing?" one alien spectator asked. "She can't win just by avoiding him." As if hearing this question, Naomi suddenly changed tactics. Instead of retreating, she moved toward Dravkor, flowing around his attacks and striking at specific points on his body. Her fingers moved with precision, targeting the joint areas she had identified. The Arthian continued his assault, but something was changing. His movements became less coordinated. Sections of his exoskeleton seemed to respond slowly to his commands. "Indy." The diplomatic section, Commander Zextul leaned forward. his compound eyes fixed on the match. "Impossible," he whispered. The arena fell silent as Naomi continued her attack on Dravkor. The massive Arthean warrior grew increasingly frustrated. His powerful limbs swung through empty air as the human moved with unnatural grace. "Stand still and fight," Dravkor roared. Naomi didn't respond. She flowed like water around his attacks, always just beyond his reach. Then she would dart in, her fingers striking with surgical precision at the joints in his exoskeleton. At first, these strikes seemed to have no effect, but after 5 minutes the alien's movements became less fluid. His right arm responded slowly to his commands. Then his left leg began to drag slightly. In the stands, Jack leaned forward, his eyes fixed on the match. Beside him, Kate and Eric watched in amazement. "What is she doing to him?" Eric whispered. "Nerve strikes," Kate replied. "She's targeting his nervous system through the gaps in his armor." Down in the arena, Dravkor grew desperate. Unable to hit his elusive opponent, he charged forward in a full-body tackle. It was a reckless move that left him exposed. Naomi sidestepped the charge with minimal movement. As the Arthean passed, her hands struck in a complex pattern along his spine and neck. She hit 12 different points in less than 2 seconds. Dravkor stumbled, then froze. His massive body swayed, then crashed to the arena floor. He lay there, eyes open and aware, but completely unable to move. The silence in the arena deepened. The referee approached cautiously and checked the fallen champion. Dravkor could only blink in response to questions. The Arthean cannot continue, the referee announced, his voice uncertain. "Victory to Earth." No one cheered. No one booed. The crowd stared in disbelief as Naomi bowed respectfully to her fallen opponent, then turned and walked calmly from the arena. In the diplomatic section, Commander Zextool stood abruptly. "This is impossible," he hissed to Ambassador Lowen. "No human could defeat an Arthean champion." Lowen's silver skin rippled with concern. "Yet we all witnessed it. The human female didn't even appear to exert herself." Grand Arbiter Kelzak approached them, his forearms moving in agitation. "We must investigate this. Perhaps the human used some hidden technology." Jack Harris was already making his way to the waiting area, where Naomi would exit. He found her sitting quietly, looking as calm as if she had just taken a leisurely walk. "That was—" Jack struggled for words. "Incredible. Are you all right?" Naomi nodded. "I am fine. The Arthean will recover in approximately 1 hour. I did not cause permanent damage." Jack sat beside her. "What exactly did you do out there?" "I used Kyusho Jitsu, the study of vital points," Naomi explained. "All beings with nervous systems have vulnerable spots. The Arthean's physiology is different from humans, but the principles are the same." Before Jack could ask more questions, tournament officials arrived. They insisted on scanning Naomi for hidden technology or weapons. They found nothing. News of the human victory spread quickly through Nexus Station. Aliens gathered in groups discussing what they had seen. Many refused to believe it was real. The Arthean must have been ill, some said. Perhaps the human cheated somehow, others suggested. But the most troubling question went unspoken. What other capabilities might humans be hiding? That evening, the human team was invited to a special dinner with the Galactic Alliance leadership. The atmosphere was tense as they entered the private dining room. Grand Arbiter Kelzak greeted them with forced politeness. "An unexpected outcome today," he said. "Most interesting." Jack smiled. "Thank you. We're just happy to participate in this prestigious event." The meal proceeded with awkward conversation. Several alien dignitaries questioned Naomi about her training, but she revealed little. She spoke of family traditions and ancient techniques without specific details. After dinner, Ambassador Lowen approached Jack privately. "Your champion called herself a ninja. What exactly does this mean?" Jack considered his answer carefully. "Ninjas were shadow warriors in our history. They specialized in stealth, deception, and defeating physically stronger opponents through skill and knowledge. And there are many such warriors on your world? Low impressed. Jack smiled. Ninjas are just one tradition among hundreds on Earth, Ambassador. For thousands of years, humans have developed ways for the small to defeat the large, for the weak to overcome the strong. Lowen's silver skin rippled with what Jack had learned was their expression of concern. I see. The next morning, the tournament continued. Naomi was scheduled to fight again, this time against a Vesperian champion known for incredible speed. The arena was packed beyond capacity. After yesterday's shocking result, no one wanted to miss what might happen next. Kate and Eric found Jack before the match. Have you seen the news feeds? Kate asked. Jack nodded. Throughout the station, aliens were discussing humans in fearful tones. Military analysts were reviewing footage of Naomi's match, trying to understand her techniques. They're calling her the Shadow, Eric said with a grin. And they're saying humans might be more dangerous than anyone realized. Jack's expression remained serious. Our plan is working, but we need to be careful. Some species may see us as a threat now. When Naomi entered the arena, the crowd fell silent. Her Vesperian opponent, a tall being with silver skin and lightning reflexes, watched her warily. Begin, called the referee. The Vesperian attacked immediately, moving so quickly that its limbs blurred. No one had ever been able to match its speed, but Naomi didn't try to match it. Instead, she used a completely different approach than in her previous match. She stood her ground and used small, efficient movements to redirect her opponent's attacks. The crowd watched in fascination as the human female used the Vesperian's own momentum against it. When the alien struck, Naomi would turn slightly, guiding the attack past her body, then counter with precise strikes of her own. That's Aikido, Eric whispered to Kate. Completely different from what she used yesterday. Kate nodded. She's showing them that humans have mastered many forms of combat, not just one technique. After 10 minutes, the Vesperian was exhausted. Its attacks grew desperate. Naomi continued her calm defense, waiting for the right moment. It came when the alien overextended on a strike. Naomi moved inside its guard, performed a complex throw, and pinned the Vesperian to the ground. Her fingers found pressure points that rendered the alien immobile. Again, the referee had to declare the human the winner. This time, scattered applause broke out among the crowd, mixed with concerned murmurs. In the diplomatic section, Grand Arbiter Kelzak turned to his advisors. We may have misjudged these humans, he said quietly. Convene the Security Council immediately after the tournament. As Naomi left the arena, aliens moved aside to let her pass. Their expressions showed a new emotion, respect mixed with fear. Jack met her at the exit. You've made quite an impression, he said. Naomi nodded. Good, but my most important match is still to come. She looked toward the area where the Krell champions were gathered. The final test will be against their strongest fighter. Jack followed her gaze to a massive Krell warrior who stood watching them. Krendal, the undefeated champion who had dominated the tournament for 3 cycles. Are you sure you can handle him? Jack asked. The Krell can increase their density to become nearly immovable. Naomi smiled slightly. Even the mountain can be moved if you find the right point to apply pressure. The final day of the tournament arrived. The championship match would pit Naomi against Krendal, the massive Krell warrior who had never been defeated. The entire station buzzed with excitement and tension. Aliens placed bets on the outcome, though most still favored the Krell despite Naomi's surprising victories. Military observers from dozens of worlds requested permission to attend, eager to study human combat techniques. Jack gathered his team for a final strategy session in their quarters. Krendal is different from your previous opponents, he warned Naomi. He studied your matches. He won't underestimate you like the others did. Naomi nodded calmly. I expected this. He will be prepared for both the nerve strikes I used against the Arthean and the redirection techniques I used against the Vesperian. So what's your plan? Kate asked. Naomi smiled slightly. I will show him something new. Eric looked concerned. The Krell can increase their muscle density until they're practically immovable, and they don't have the same nerve structure as the Artheans. Every strength can become a weakness, Naomi replied. The Krell's density makes them powerful but slow. Their focus on becoming immovable means they forget how to adapt. Jack checked the time. It's almost time. The whole galaxy will be watching this match. Naomi rose smoothly to her feet. Then let's give them something to remember. The arena was packed beyond capacity. Viewers throughout the Galactic Alliance watched on communication screens. This had become more than a tournament match. It was humanity's introduction to the wider galaxy. Krendal entered first. The Krell champion stood nearly 8 feet tall, his gray stone-like skin covered in ritual markings. He carried himself with the confidence of someone who had never known defeat. When Naomi entered, the crowd grew quiet. She looked tiny compared to her opponent. She wore the same simple black clothing and carried no weapons. Her face showed no fear as she bowed respectfully to the Krell. Krendal returned the gesture. I have watched you, human. His deep voice rumbled. Your tricks will not work on me. Naomi simply nodded and moved into a ready stance. In the stands, Jack sat with Kate and Eric. She seems so calm, Kate whispered. That's what makes her dangerous, Jack replied. Absolute control. The referee gave the signal to begin. Unlike her previous opponents, Krendal did not attack immediately. He circled carefully, watching Naomi's movements. When he finally struck, it was with controlled precision rather than brute force. Naomi evaded the blow, but just barely. The Krell had studied her movements and anticipated her dodge. His follow-up attack nearly caught her. For 10 minutes they circled and engaged in brief exchanges. The Krell showed surprising speed for his size. He kept his limbs close to his body, protecting the joint areas Naomi had targeted in previous matches. In the diplomatic section, Commander Zextool watched intently. The human is struggling, he noted with satisfaction. The Krell has adapted to her techniques. Ambassador Lowen was not so certain. She has revealed different skills in each match. I wonder what she is hiding now. As if hearing this exchange, Naomi suddenly changed her approach. Instead of evading, she moved directly toward Krendal. The Krell increased his density, becoming like living stone to withstand whatever attack might come. But Naomi didn't strike. Instead, she flowed around him like water around a rock. She touched him lightly in various places, not the sharp strikes she had used before, but gentle taps that seemed to have no effect. The crowd murmured in confusion. The Krell also seemed puzzled but maintained his defensive stance. What is she doing? Eric whispered. Jack shook his head. I don't know. For another 5 minutes, this strange dance continued. Naomi would approach, touch the Krell lightly in seemingly random places, then move away before he could grab her. Krendal became visibly frustrated. Fight me, human, he growled. Naomi continued her mysterious technique. Then after touching a specific point on the Krell's chest, she stepped back and waited. Krendal moved to attack and stumbled. He looked down at his body in confusion. He tried to increase his density as he always did, but instead, his limbs began to tremble. What have you done to me? He demanded. Naomi spoke for the first time in the match. Your strength comes from control. I have disrupted that control. The Krell roared and charged forward. But his movements were uncoordinated. His legendary density fluctuated, parts of his body becoming stone-like while others remained vulnerable. Now, Naomi went on the offensive. She moved with blinding speed, striking precisely at the areas where the Krell's density was weakest. Each blow was perfectly timed and placed. The crowd watched in stunned silence as the mighty Krendal, undefeated champion for 3 tournament cycles, began to falter under the human's attack. In a final desperate move, the Krell gathered his strength and lunged at Naomi. She sidestepped and delivered a complex series of strikes to his midsection. Krendal froze, then slowly collapsed to his knees. He tried to rise but couldn't coordinate his limbs. After a full minute of struggle, he looked up at Naomi and did something no one had ever seen a Krell champion do. He tapped the ground in submission. The referee approached cautiously. The Krell champion submits. Victory to Earth. For several seconds there was complete silence. Then the arena erupted, not in cheers, but in urgent conversation. Species that had dismissed humans as weak were suddenly reassessing the danger this unassuming world might present. Naomi helped Krendall to his feet. "You fought with honor," she told him. The Krell studied her with new respect. "As did you, human. Your people are full of surprises." At the award ceremony, Grand Arbiter Kelzak presented Naomi with the champion's medallion. His 4 arms moved, nervously as he placed the symbol of victory around her neck. "Your species has concealed much from us," he said privately. Naomi smiled. "Not concealed, Your Eminence. You simply failed to ask the right questions. Physical strength is only one form of power." Later, as Earth's team prepared to return home, Ambassador Lowen approached Jack with newfound respect. "Your champion called herself a ninja. Are there many such warriors on Earth?" he asked. Jack considered the question carefully. "Ninjas are just one tradition among hundreds on our world, Ambassador. For thousands of years, humans have developed ways for the small to defeat the large, for the weak to overcome the strong. Without natural advantages, we had to become clever." He smiled. "What you witnessed wasn't humanity's greatest warrior, just a glimpse of what happens when humans are underestimated." As their ship prepared to depart, news of Earth's victory spread throughout the galaxy. Military strategists frantically studied human martial arts. Trading embargoes against Earth were quietly lifted, and invasion plans were discreetly shelved. In the revised Galactic Alliance Charter, Earth received a new designation: Caution, Level Alpha. Approach with diplomatic respect. Back on Earth, preparations began for the next tournament. Dozens of fighting styles would be evaluated, hundreds of warriors assessed. But Jack knew that the true victory had already been won. Humanity had earned its place among the stars not through technology or brute strength, but through the wisdom accumulated over thousands of years of conflict and survival. They thought size and strength determined everything, he told the president during his debriefing. That was their mistake. The president smiled. And what was our advantage? Jack's answer was simple. We've been underdogs our entire history. We've always had to find ways to defeat stronger opponents. That makes humans the most dangerous species in the galaxy. As Naomi returned to her family's compound in Japan, she carried not just the champion's medallion, but also the knowledge that the ancient techniques her ancestors had preserved would now help protect Earth in a much larger arena. The age of human relevance in galactic affairs had begun.